All right.
Link up,
Yo,
Daddy.
tomorrow I'm gonna come scoop you, eh? We'll go to business.
Yeah, for sure.
You're with Julian on the Brown Notes. And just as I was going to start this piece, I saw Peter Dutton, our Defence Minister, in an article in, surprise, surprise, the Liberal newspaper of choice, the Sydney Morning Herald, claiming that he was in the defence job for the long haul. He may have well just said, I'm going to go for Scott Morrison's job today. You know they're lying when they say that. So we've got the Liberal Party pulling out one of their favourite bunny rabbits from the hat, the race card, and doing so quite spectacularly against the two biggest populists on planet Earth. So we've got the as if they hadn't learned their lesson, a new renewed attacks on China and rattling the war sabre against China. And on the other side, you've got this the idea that Australians that have been in India can't return to Australia. An idea that has become so misguided that Andrew Bolt has called them out for being racists. Somebody who was convicted in court of racial charges has called them out. Why are they doing this? Well, the Liberals have got nothing. Their economy is being lied about by the media continually, and it's the most shameful reporting I've ever seen. They just continually say about how everything's great. It's not great. It's getting worse, and we were in a recession in March 2019, according to the International Monetary Fund. And the reporting has just been glowing ever since. But why are they doing it? They're doing it to try and wrest back the 24-hour news cycle. We've never had a politician more interested in spin and public relations than Scott Morrison. The last couple of months must have been really upsetting for him because of the unending scandals besetting the Liberal Party, from the rape scandals and their women problems that have compounded weekly. So they want to get the news. They want to dominate the news cycle for a bit, and there's nothing like getting your buddies at the Sydney Morning Herald to drum up the validity of this appalling lunacy of going after China over absolute crap. You wouldn't believe the amount of right-wingers in the comment section on Facebook now that actually suddenly care about Taiwan and its sovereignty. Something the West gave up on 20 years ago when they were kissing China's backside to get money. Now they suddenly care. One really interesting part about it is Scott Morrison has obviously wed himself to a race card election, and the Liberals have found that a rather disturbingly successful way of getting votes out of the really crap half of this country that vote for them. As we've seen ever since John Howard's Children Overboard scandal that demonised refugees for an entire generation, and to this day, it's a very effective way of getting Liberal votes. But the interesting thing is Dutton's doing the same. Dutton's rattling his sabre really hard against China. And Dutton and Frydenberg are waiting for this mortally wounded, very large beast called Scott Morrison to attack him and to take leadership. They both hate his guts. They all hate each other. ScoMo's white-handed Dutton as well. But they are waiting for the moment to strike. And both Dutton and Scott Morrison are going hard after China. There's no war here. It's just really bad judgment. What war is there? That we're going to go to war against China and that America's going to join in a world war. We aren't going to have skirmishes with China. We gave China a 99-year lease on the port of Darwin. This is such rubbish. But you have to remember these people are really stupid. And they can be incredibly reckless in what they're doing. And it could easily be Australia that ends up being a very bad example to the rest of the world. Why do we want to go and fight China over things that have really no impact on us? We've never cared about democracy in Hong Kong. We've never cared about sovereignty in Taiwan. And we forgot about Tibetans a long time ago. Suddenly we care about the Uyghurs, democracy in Hong Kong, and keeping Taiwan China free. This is fabrication, and it's incredibly dangerous. There's no possibility of us fighting China. And America would probably stop us saying, wait, what the hell are you doing? They might want to rattle sabers at each other, but the Americans probably don't realize quite how stupid our government is. They will put us in a situation that can escalate. Their judgment's terrible. So they've done this to... Scott Morrison has thrown Australia under a bus with China yet again because he's got nothing and he needs the publicity to be this strong man in the public eye in the lead up to an election. It's absolute crap. And the Sydney Morning Herald now is just so much worse than the Murdoch Press. They're the paper, if you look online, compared to the other major sites like 7 News and News.com, the sort of Daily Telegraph, Murdoch World amalgam, they're not making this China story into a big thing. It's the Sydney Morning Herald. 10 years ago, the Sydney Morning Herald was The Guardian, and not The Guardian Australia, which is nearly as bad as the Sydney Morning Herald these days. But they were the bastion of free journalism in Australia. And now they just run these puff pieces from David Crowe and Peter Hartcher almost daily, doing whatever Scott Morrison's bidding is. It's shameful. I feel really sorry for any journalists left at the Sydney Morning Herald. India's was terrible. They've even lied about the reasons why they want to put people who are Australian citizens returning from India in jail. They said that it was medical advice. It's now come forward that there's no medical advice. It was a complete fabrication. And this one has really kicked off a firestorm with a lot of right-wing media pundits attacking the government for racism. They've pointed out that the big blocks on people coming from countries has happened to China and India. And this is what really gets me. And please don't underestimate our government's stupidity. They are very, very stupid. But this is what really annoys me about this whole issue. Behind the scenes, when they tell their racist white voters that they really don't like the Chinese and the Indians and all other ethnicities that aren't Anglo-Saxon, they court what they see as a solid conservative base. The older generations of Chinese and Indians are historically conservative people. And they go pandering to these voters behind the scenes saying that they represent their moral and business values. I just wish that these voters, these Indian and Chinese voters, particularly the older generation of conservative Indian and Chinese Australian voters, would wise up